Hey, day 14, meal number 1. I'm feeling super terrific and it's going to be a great day today. Do you know why? Because we can say it is. That's why. We can determine here, right where we are, where we want to go. We can, in the morning, wake up and no matter what that thought is that comes in, no matter what you're feeling, if you're feeling pain in one part of your body, if you really focus, what I teach my kids how to do here in Kids and Super Kids Academy it's kind of interesting. Like, if you have some place that hurts or some little injury, you can focus your mind all on that one spot, or you could also focus on all the rest of your body that actually feels really good. And the parts of your body that feel really good, the feeling of the goodness, like you could have a tickly feeling on your shoulder here, and that actually feels good. While my elbow, and this is a true story, my elbow hurts like a son of a gun right now, even though I'm holding the camera. So I can feel this, or this little tickly feeling, or a little feeling on my ear, or a tickly feeling on my neck, or a tickly feeling on the back of my neck. All this positive, we'll call it a positive, pleasant feeling, forms what I'm going to call is a bird nest. So we've got this bird nest that's formed that can hold the parts of us that are hurting, and they're like a little birdie going, help, food, 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 and all the rest of the positive feeling of our body can hold the hurt and crying part of our body or our mind, and to help soothe the pain that, or the discomfort that is being experienced. We have a lot of our body and our mind that actually is feeling really good and doing very, very well. That can really form like that bird nest, this bird nest that's holding safely the parts that maybe are in a little discomfort. And in the meanwhile, doing what we can do to breathe in and breathe out and bring our mind back to a calm and stable place, because we can do that. If we're hurting somewhere, it's not going to help us to run in a circle. It's not going to help us to scream or yell. That's not going to do anything that's going to be of any real benefit at all. It just takes energy. So I'd rather use my energy. And this is all that my kids and the little kids in our program understand how to make a bird nest. We're using our energy wisely to help ourselves. So it's going to be a great day today. Because why? Because we know how to make a bird nest. That no matter what comes to us or what difficult, it's not just like positive thinking. I'm going to use the power of positive thinking, and no matter what calamity I'm suffering, and I'm suffering a few outside of this, right? No matter what calamity I'm suffering, I'm going to use the power of positive thinking. No, it's not that. Okay, in the beginning you can, by force of will, pick a thought, no matter what's happening. Lightning just struck my house, and there's got to be a positive benefit that'll arise from that. Now it's more like it's more of a softer attitude. It's more of a feeling of a embrace and a feeling of holding without grabbing. It's this kind of holding with open hand. Okay, it's going to be a great day today. You know why? Because we can open to all the possibilities. Okay, so I have my food mapped out for the day. I do want to say last night I ended up going with a different plan than what I anticipated, because it's sort of, my body was saying, ooh, I just needed some eggs. So I had 2 meals, each meal 2 eggs, each meal a tablespoon of mayonnaise with a little bit of mustard. So I made like an egg salad. And in that, I was feeling like I needed something a little bit like something I hadn't really had, something a little bit more. And the flavor of corn and peas came to me. Now, corn is not really part of the plan because it's sugary. It turns to sugar fast. And peas are okay, but they're not as good as broccoli. But the thing is, my body was asking for something there, and there was a hint of a little bit of that flavor that I was craving. So I had, for each meal, a tablespoon of peas, and a tablespoon of corn. And that yesterday formed, let's see, what was it now? I didn't really eat that much yesterday. I just wasn't hungry. I'm not hungry now. I'm a couple hours into my day here. Not hungry now. So, well, I don't know. So there we have it. That's how my day concluded yesterday. And so here, meal number one. And so here, I've got the day. I mapped the day out for us here. All right. So let's take a look here. Meal number one is nuts, 2 pecans, 2 almonds, 2 pistachios, 2 cashews, 2 Brazil nuts, 4 macadamia nuts, because I'm wanting the fats from that, and plus I'm sort of craving that flavor. A pinch of pepitos, a pinch of apples. It's about 4 apple slices, dried ones, and about 4 banana slices. These are dried. I've got a couple of dried raspberries and a couple of dried blueberries. 2 by 2, they lined up, and they're hopping on the ark that's going to come into my body today. Okay, it's a Noah's Ark breakfast. I have half a cup of the pea milk, and so that's about 4 grams of protein, about 2 grams of fat. There's no carbohydrates in that. So this is going to form my first meal of the day. Now, I'm anticipating here my day a little bit, so I got it mapped out, but I am going to allow myself to be completely flexible. This is not like I'm going to hammer myself over an anvil so that I can look a certain way here. This is, I'm following my impulse within a certain kind of context. Now, for most of us, I lined it up here. We're going to have 2 giant handfuls of greens, okay? So that's kale, that's spinach, that's collard greens, something else in there, I forget what it is. We're going to have protein about the palm of our hand. Now, I would cut this salmon in half. The whole package is 14 grams of protein. There's no sugar in there, and there's 1 gram of fat in that whole package, but I cut it in half so it's the size of my hand. Or I buy these frozen salmons here. I buy them in a large bag, and they're relatively inexpensive. And I might cook this as I did yesterday in a pan here that I like to sit out here and cook in. Yesterday, though, I did get fresh salmon from across the street at Hull's Market, which is my favorite little supermarket. My friends own it. And so we could have this cooked for the day, okay? And then I'm going to have with it a quarter of this avocado. So this 6 times a day is the basic meal concept, okay? That spread out every roughly 3 hours to 4 hours or so. If we needed to eat sooner, this 3 or 4 times a day is going to give your body everything that it needs to be able to do well and to balance. Now, I would like to have greater diversity than just this one thing 6 times a day, and so we'll change up the proteins. Maybe it's a couple of hard-boiled eggs, maybe it's some chicken, maybe it's one of those grillers, Morningstar grillers that I like, and I want to have a richer diversity of vegetables changing throughout the day and not just have one thing over and over and over. Okay, imagine that one cheese pizza you ate over and over, or that one cheeseburger. Wow, there's zero diversity there. I mean, it's like hardly any at all. We want to live a life that's diverse and amazingly abundant. We're going to eat that way. So I'm not going to hammer myself with my plan. I just mapped it out, and if I want to take a diversion, I take a diversion. If my body says, "Oh, I need a glass of buttermilk," and that's what I forgot about. Last night I had this little bit of craving. I want a little bit of buttermilk. Now, milk is generally not part of the plan for me, and but I have milk here because my kids drink milk, and they also like buttermilk. So there's something about the flavor of that. So I had a cup of buttermilk with each of the meals last night too. It's probably the most sugary thing that I have. There's a lot of natural sugars occurring in milk, and that's partly why it's not part of the plan. I much prefer to have cashew milk or this pea milk here. It's just much lower in natural sugar. Okay, meal number 2 presumably is a little bit of the vegetable mix we made yesterday, 1/8 of an avocado, and the salmon. This is left over from yesterday because I didn't really eat that much. I wasn't hungry. Meal number 3 presumably would be the 2 scallops that I did not eat yesterday, and the greens that we made with a quarter of an avocado. this is the soup, the epic soup, and that's a piece of the salmon. So I split that salmon into tiny chunks here. Now, what I am including in this is spinach, and with the spinach is a hard-boiled egg, and I've got right here, this is my corn and pea mix, and I'm going to add some turnips. So I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of that in here. And this here, you can see I'm using precise measuring is important in my plan. And then 2 tablespoons right there. And I'll save this and put it in a soup later. All right. So here we have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meals. Now, I do intend to add a tablespoon of hummus to at least a couple of these meals. And these ones without an extra fat. Now, there's really good fat in the salmon and in the salmon here, okay? And with this, I'm going to take out the egg yolk. I may give myself permission to add a little bit of mayonnaise and make an egg salad out of that. And I will also give myself permission to add an extra egg to this. I have some eggs in the refrigerator that we made yesterday. So if I feel I need more protein, my body asks for that, I'll make 2 eggs, like an egg salad, and then have the rest of this will be like a little salad. So I do plan to cut this up and add avocado here, 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 and here, and somewhere add a little bit of hummus. That'll give me a little bit of extra fat and a little bit of extra carbohydrates. That's not the reason I'm doing it, though. The reason I'm doing it is because for a carbohydrate, it's a pretty good one. You know, it's made of chickpeas. Of all the family of beans, it's relatively low in its glycemic index. And but the flavor, I know historically, is something that I like. There's a little tanginess to it. And so adding something that has some diverse flavor is kind of important to me. Now, if I get hungry throughout the day, I have this mix that we saw yesterday. Keely helped to make it. It is cucumber and a couple kinds of squash, red pepper, yellow pepper, onions, green pepper, and some kale, some spinach, salt, pepper, some little bit of garlic, and in that is also some balsamic vinegar. That's super delicious. And so I'll have that as a snack if I need a little extra food. And the Bubby's pickles are always part of the plan, like right there. You know, Bubby pickle is an interesting thing. Pickles in general are interesting. 0 protein, 0 carbohydrate, and 0 fat. Calories, 0. It's kind of interesting, right? So what that's going to do is give our body enzymes. This is infinitely better than, say, pickles just made in vinegar. So this is pickles made the old-fashioned way, the way our ancestors made pickled stuff, which our ancestors probably ate a lot of pickled stuff. You know, what do you do in winter? You eat stuff that's pickled because it saves. No refrigerator? Pickling. No refrigerator? Dried nuts, dried fruit, or even dried and smoked fish. Okay. Or other meats, maybe. So I like the flavor of this. Certainly the enzymes are going to help. There's no calories. It does invite my body to work in a productive way, but it's not adding unnecessary calories. It's not adding anything unnecessary, even though it completely seems unnecessary because it has 0 of anything in it. My body's working to process it. And just picture your body, trillions of cells. They're joyously, they're singing, they're like receiving like these, all right, pickles. It has no food value, but the pickles are delivering enzymes that we're going to use. We're going to mine the enzymes. They're like cryptocurrency miners, right? Our trillion cells of our body, they're mining. Now, they're not mining cryptocurrencies, though. They're mining enzymes. And they're mining all the nutrients that they need to be able to build, to repair, all this joyous work that our body is doing, bringing us always to balance in this moment. It doesn't happen later. It is right now. Our body and our mind is bringing us to balance. And we, each moment, are aligning with the wisdom of our body and the wisdom of our universe that's way, way beyond the concept of just our individual bodies. We are at one with the wisdom of the universe that has made us and that has made everything. And we are participating in this creation of all life with our intention. Okay, day 14, meal number 1. See you in a few hours.